I have started the recording. So, is my voice clear? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, yes, Naveen.
Okay.
Yes, Naveen.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, then let me share my screen. Okay. Let me open the paint. So, anyone have any questions based on what we have seen till yesterday? Any topic which you have any questions on that? Okay, no,
Yeah,
fine.
Naveen.
Yeah,
Yesterday we created one subnet and all has public IP address, right? Private IP
yes,
address. There is no public in the VNet, right?
correct,
We want to access from that VNet to outside the internet. We have in NAT gateway, right?
correct.
Instead of going through NAT gateway, why are using this Boston service?
Bastion service is just to take connection to the server.
Even we have a
So,
NAT gateway, right? How it is
no, no,
different
no.
from.
So, okay, I'll tell you. So, using NAT gateway, you cannot take a connection. So, let's say you have assigned NAT gateway is more for outbound connection.
Mhm.
So, you cannot take an inbound connection. Let's say you have a NAT gateway IP, and let us say it is attached to a Windows VM. Okay, you cannot take RDP to that VM using that NAT gateway IP. It is purely used for the outbound traffic.
Okay. Mhm.
You got it?
Yep, yep, I got it now.
Yeah. So Bastion is mainly again, you cannot, you will be assigning IP for Bastion also. Again, you cannot use that IP to take remote desktop or SSH. It is used purely used for the Bastion service to make an secure connection to the VM.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So let's move on. So it's going to be like we're going to again build on top of what we have seen yesterday. Okay. So what I have done just before like 10-15 minutes, I just set up the environment. Okay. And if you see, this is how our setup is going to be. Okay. I'll quickly just put a picture here. We have a subnet called, I have a separate, probably I'll not go into what subscription, all those things. I'll just say like we have a hub VNet. Okay. I'm not worried about the resource group also. We'll just say hub VNet. Okay. And again, I have a separate VNet. Probably this I'll draw it a little bit bigger, which is like I have named this as project A VNet. Okay, we have two networks, and I have a jump server which is sitting here. Okay, I'll just say jump server, and this has a public IP. Okay, for today's scenario, I'm telling. I've just given a public IP because Bastion I cannot run it for longer time because it is expensive compared to this. So I thought this would be easy for us to demonstrate this scenario. Okay. So there is a jump server in Hub VNet, and there is a public IP which is assigned to that VM. And here I have three different subnet. Oh, wait, probably let me see if I can copy it. Okay. And one more. Okay, I have named these subnet as, first one is web subnet. Okay, then I have named the subnet as API subnet. There is a typo, subnet, and the last one is of course like it is a DB subnet. Okay, we have three different subnets. Now, on each of this subnet, I have a VM again. Okay. Um, so I have a VM like here. It's like web VM1, and here it's like API hyphen VM1. My bad. API hyphen VM1, and here it is DB hyphen VM1. Like this, I have three different VMs. Okay. Now, what we wanted to achieve is, okay, um, whoever, okay, let's say I'll pick probably this one. Okay, way too confused. Let's take this. Okay, let's say this is our users. Okay, whoever is trying to access, okay, they go via this jump server. Okay, and using this jump server, they should be able to connect only to the web server. Okay, which is web VM1, and this web VM1 can talk to API server only, and API can talk to DB only. So this reverse is also not allowed. Okay, API should not talk to web, and DB should not talk to web. Okay, I think yesterday this is more like a similar situation what I explained yesterday, but I noticed whatever rule yesterday I said that will block one-way traffic. Like it will block the traffic from web to DB, but DB to web it will not. Basically, we wanted to block all the internal VPC connection within the virtual network. We have to block all the connection and allow only the connections from web to API and API to DB. That's it. And from jump server, they can access only the web server. From jump server, we want to block the access to API and DB subnet. So this is the first thing which we are going to see, which you all know, like we can achieve this using something called network security group, which we are going to see. And to add on to that, okay, we will also see something like which is application security group, which is a like a wrapper or an additional thing on top of your NSG. Okay, I'll tell you what is the problem with NSG also again today, and we'll see that. And if time permits, we will also see Azure Firewall, which will be basically in our hub. Okay, so Azure Firewall, we'll see. Again, like Firewall itself will extend to another session. Okay, but if time permits, we'll start today. If not, it will be on the next session. Okay, so this is what we are going to see. And now that I have explained you the setup, let me go to the portal. I'll just check if there is any message in the chat. No, right? Not able to hear you. Is it still, is it maybe, can someone confirm?
No, no, we are able to hear you now.
You're able to, right? Okay, fine then.
Yep.
Because I spoke to Saim Khan, maybe some network problem or something happened. Okay, so Zaim Khan, now you're good?
Yes, sir. No, it's good.
Okay, thank you. Fine. Okay, this is the probably I'll go from the base. We'll go to virtual networks, right? I told we have two virtual networks. One is Hub VNet, other one is Project A VNet. If I go to Hub VNet, let's see if there is like what are the connected devices. I have one NIC card which is showing here. This is a connected device and it's having 10.100 1.4. Okay. Now this is connected to in a subnet named jump. Okay, that's the subnet name. Though in the diagram I haven't mentioned, but it is just one subnet we have so far. So this is the hub VNet, and if I go to the project VNet, we have three different subnets. One is web API DB subnet. Okay, web is with 10.10.1, 10.10.2 is for API, 10.10.3 is for DB. So this is how the subnets are given. And if I go here, you would be seeing three different NICs for each of the VM. For web, there is one VM. For API, there is one VM. And for DB, there is one VM. This is the setup. Now, if we go with this diagram, right, we are going to take the public IP of the jump server. That's the first thing we want to do, right? Let's do that. I'll go to the virtual machines, and these are the 4 different virtual machines which we have in our setup. Okay, I'll just copy the public IP from here. And if you want to connect to a Windows machine, you can just use the remote desktop connection client, the tool which comes within the Windows. Again, for Mac, you will have a separate tool for that. I don't know that name, but I know there is a remote desktop client which is available for Mac as well if you are using Mac. Now this is working fine, which is okay, right? Now I'm able to log into the server. I mean, after provisioning, this is the first time I'm connecting. So this would take some time because we have to just agree to few terms and conditions and just say accept. Once this is done, what we are going to do is I want to basically connect to these servers, right? Let this come. Okay, accept. And this should load. Fine. Now, what I wanted to do is, okay, so here one quick, I mean, small information, right? So here you see some details, right? I don't see a private IP here. What I can do is I can go to manage views, edit columns, and from here I should be able to select other properties. Like if I want to add anything, I can put it. Let's say I don't want size, I don't want operating system, update status. Let's say you should see a field for private IP. Okay, I'll click on save. You can also customize this view if you are using again. And I just did that. What I will do is first we'll take the web VM. Okay, and let me open command prompt. Okay, this loading. Okay, fine. SSH, the username, whatever we have, and the IP. Okay, this is not working. Let's try for other VMs once. SSH, again, username, IP. This is also like not working. And we know it is like 3.4 is the IP I gave for DB. This is also not working. Okay, it says connection timeout. Okay, now like just tell me like what I can do to troubleshoot this. This is the diagram. Okay, and now we are into jump server successfully. From jump server, I am not able to connect to any of this VM. It could be web API or DB VM. In none of the VM we are able to connect. So what I should do now? Anyone?
Peering between two VNets.
Okay, pairing. Let's see. Virtual network, hub. Okay, right. Pairing is not there. This would be for remote. So I'll just say project A to hub pairing. Okay, and I have to select the project A VNet here. Similarly, for local pairing, it will be hub to project A pairing. And I'll say add. Let this finish. This will just take a minute. Okay, on one side it has added the pairing. Up to project A is done. It's doing a remote pairing. This should also get completed in few more seconds. Okay, now we have a pairing which is configured. and peering status is this. So this is the first layer, right? Let's check the other side also before we go to the server. What is this? Okay, here also we have a pairing. Okay, now let's go back and we will see if we are able to SSH. Okay, it is allowing. We are into web. Similarly, let's try this also. Is also going to work because we got the prompt. And let's try the other one as well. Okay, wait. Yes. Okay, this is also working. Okay, now we are able to talk to all the VMs in this within the subnet, which now we wanted to basically block this communication, right? What I can do is, okay, let's go. We'll go to the NSG section, which is Network Security Group. So here I already have one NSG, which is for this one. Let's see where this NSG is attached, right? It says it is attached to 3 network interface. Let's go to network interface and I'll say dissociate, okay? Because I don't want it at the NIC level. I'll again remove all these mappings, okay? And now I want this NSG to be attached to a subnet, okay? What I'll do, let's go and say associate and we'll give all the subnets web and then API. So basically this is like we are going to define rules now once this is attached and DB. Okay. Now with this we have attached all the 3 subnets which are in our project A VNet. Okay. This looks fine. And this is the inbound. Okay. If you see this right within when source is any virtual network, destination virtual network, by default it's going to allow all. This is something we want to restrict, right? What I will do is, let's say when source is any, destination is any, okay, I am going to restrict all the traffic, okay, any protocol, and probably I'll give this as 1000 and block. Even before doing that, right? I'll quickly show one more thing. Okay. What we can do is SSH 10.10.2.4. Okay, this is the API server. Okay, I'll just say Naveen. I'm just showing you because from the web VM, we are able to talk to the API. Okay, and if I exit this, similarly, if I do for 10.10.3.4, this is also going to work because they are in the same subnet. Because of that rule which I showed you, this is working. Okay. Now, what we will do, we are going to put this rule, which means I'm going to block any traffic. Okay. Okay. Anyways, it's star, right? From any source, any traffic, I'm going to block basically. Let me click on block all default traffic. Okay. we'll just do this. And this is our rule. Okay. Now, if you see, let's go and check if this rule is applied. Yes, this is applied. Now, let me do one thing. I'll do I'll open a new SSH connection and let's see if we are able to reach those VM. Okay. Now, this VM access itself is blocked, right? This is our web VM. Okay. 10.10.1 is web, 10.10.2 is API, 10.10.3 is DB, which means now this is blocked. Let's see the next one. This is also blocked. This is also blocked. Okay. Now the first thing is done. We have blocked all the communication. Okay. Even the jump server cannot talk to any of these VMs. Now, what we are going to do is I am going to allow the connection from the jump server. Okay. For this, I can go with IP address and what I will do is I want to give the jump server details here. Let's go to the virtual machine and this is our jump server. So in this case, which IP I should give? Like I should give the public IP address or the private IP address? So in this inbound, I want to define my source IP address. Okay. So which IP address I should give? It's going to be the public or private? Private. Okay. Anyone has a different opinion? Agree it should be private. Okay, let's take it's actually private because this communication is within Azure network. Okay, so it's not going to go to the go via internet for which you need a public IP. This is since within the network, it's going to use the private IP. What I will do is I'll give this IP. When there is a source connection, I mean, initiated from this IP to a destination. In this case, I am going to give the web server, and for us, we want to allow SSH port, which is 22, which is available here. Okay, and I'm going to say allow. For this priority, I give 1000, right? What we can give here is I'll say 900. Okay, which means only this rule will be applicable. Any other condition apart from this is going to be blocked. I'll just say allow jump server to web server. We'll add this rule. Okay, now we have a rule of 900, which is going to allow the SSH connection from the source when my source is this and the destination is this. Okay, and apart from that, still we are going to block all the other traffic. Okay, now what we will do, probably let me just do a clear screen and we'll give this. Okay, fine. Now we are getting the prompt to put the password, which looks good. Now what we want to do, like we want to check if from the web VM, if we are able to talk to the API server and DB server. Okay, I'll just take a pause here. Okay, what I wanted to do is before I proceed with that, I will quickly go. I told we will also be discussing firewall, right? The firewall resource itself will take like good amount of time to get deployed. So for that, what I will quickly do, I'll just start this, okay, and then we'll go back to that thing. Okay, sorry about that. We'll go to firewall and I'll say, okay, before that, let's go. Okay, we'll go here only. I'll say click to add a new firewall, and this will be on hub. I'll just say hub firewall, and we'll go with standard SKU. And wait, this is actually that. Let's do one thing. I'll go to hub and let's go to subnet. Here, let's go and firewall. This should pick. If you see, like again, firewall, it's going to have a constant name and it will have its own IP range, which we have to dedicatedly allocate it. Let's define this. And once this is done, we'll quickly see firewall. We'll do create and hub. Let's say firewall. I'll say like add new. I'll say hub. Again, we'll talk about all these things again. For now, I'm just creating it so that we'll not spend more time at the end just by looking at this. The hub is located in central India in our case. Probably I'll cross check that also. Let's check where we have the hub. Virtual network. Yeah, it is in central India, right? Okay, central India. We'll go standard. That's fine. And okay, it should detect this. Use the virtual network. Not this. Wait. Here, let's pick central India. Standard. Oh, and now hub VM. Manage. Okay. Force tunneling requires virtual network to have subnet in this. Okay, wait. I have to, let's see if it is allowing. Okay, basically when we create virtual network, there is a property which I should have enabled it. Okay, fine. Let's not worry about this for now. Okay, probably we'll not spend more time. We'll go here only. Later we'll go to that. Sorry about that. Okay, back to this topic, right? Web VM. From here, SSH, I'll do Naveen 10 dot 10 dot, yeah, 2.4. Okay, now this SSH is also blocked because of this rule. Okay, so it's going to evaluate from top to bottom, which means top in the sense least to the highest. Okay, in this case 900, it will check, then it will go to 1000 says block anything. So that's why this is not coming. Now what I have to do, I'll go and say when my source, in this case, what I can do is, let's go to the virtual machine. If my source is web, okay, and if the destination is API, this is API VM, then allow SSH to happen. Okay, and for this, what I will do, I'll pick priority of 9, 10. Okay, because I have to define a priority between this, and it should not exceed 1000, because if it is exceeding, when Azure is trying to evaluate, if it reaches 1000, everything is going to block there, and that's it. It will not evaluate all the other rules which is below that. So for that, I'm giving priority as 9, 10, and then I'll say allow SSH web to API. Okay, and let's add this rule. this is coming here. Now it says if my source is this and if the destination is this IP, you allow the 22 port traffic, which is SSH traffic. Now let's go here. We'll try to do SSH. Now we are getting this option to enter the password. Okay, perfect. What I will do is now if I go and exit, still from web VM, if I try to SSH to DB server, still it is not happening. And let's address that also. Okay. Now we are in API server. Now what I want to do is like to handle the API to DB, we will say when my IP address is from API, which is this one, and if my destination is the DB IP address, which is going to be this one, then allow the SSH to happen. Okay, and for this, let's say 920 will give. I'll say allow SSH API to DB. Okay, we'll just put some name. Okay. Okay. Now, if you see like from API to DB, we are allowing the SSH again. And okay, this is on. So now we are on API server. And let me put the ID 10.10.3.4. Okay, finally we are able to talk to the DB server. So from the DB server, right? Let's see if we are able to talk to the our web server, right? So it is blocked. Okay, that is because of the 1000 rule which we have said, block any other communication. Okay, so with these rules, we are able to achieve what we have initially planned for. Okay, any questions? Able to get it?
Yes, Naveen. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, awesome. Okay, now I'll tell you the problem with this, right? In real time, okay. So we're going to see talk more about load balancing and all in the upcoming classes. But in real time, you'll not have just one VM to serve your traffic. Okay, you can have like more than one VM which will be created. Okay, so basically, what how it will be like you will have more than one VM, and then you will have something called load balancer which will be taking the traffic. I'm just telling for SSH it is okay, but if you have a real-time application, right? If users are taking from internet, it will hit the load balancer. Load balancer will then send the request, and from there it goes to the API again. Then it goes to the DB. Okay. Now in those cases, like if I'm going to have more than one VM, okay. In this case, it was a single VM. Uh, is anyone talking? Okay. So in this case, I know what is the IP. But let's say again, VM can get deleted and then recreated. If that is the scenario, it is going to be difficult, right? Every time I cannot go and update the IP address here for this to work. Okay. To solve that, we have something called application security group. Okay. Let's go and create one. If you see under virtual network, right? Now you know what is a virtual network.
Naveen, even we can use the CIDR range also, right?
You can. In this case, I'm using same CIDR, but what if everything, all of your servers are in single subnet?
Mhm.
And it will not work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, uh, okay, what I was saying is within virtual network, you all know how to create a virtual network. You all know about NAT gateway, public IP address, network interface, which gets created when we were provisioning VM and all. Network security groups also, Now, and Bastion we discussed. Route table and route servers we are yet to discuss, and now we are talking about application security groups. Okay. So with this, I think most of the things are covered, but route table is something which when we talk about firewall, I can show you. But I just wanted to tell like we covered all these things. We are just taking small steps and we are connecting the dots. Okay. Now let's go and create the application security group. And this is going to sit in the project ARG. I'll just name it as project ASG, okay, which is application security group. And nothing much you will define here. I should have done it in a different way. Anyways, fine. We'll not use this, okay? I'm going to delete whatever we have created now. Let's go to the application security group. I want to create basically with application security group, what you get is you will be able to group servers. Okay. For example, I'll just say web ASG. Okay. And create. Then I can say similarly API ASG. Okay. Let this continue. I'll just say API ASG. And let's pick this resource group. This is also submitted. We will then create something for our DB. I'll just say DB ASG and create it. With this, we'll have like three different ASGs which we'll be using. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the other one just to avoid the confusion. Let's go and delete this application security group. We don't need this. Anyways, that will get removed eventually, probably if I refresh. What? Okay, we have three different ages. Now, okay, to show what I'm referring, let's create a virtual machine, right? We have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more VM in the web subnet. Let's quickly do that. I'll say create new virtual machine in project A, and let's say web VM 2. Okay, let's do. I'm just thinking okay, fine. Before even creating, right, we'll just tag those NSGs, then I'll come and create. Okay, let me go here and ASG. Now what I told you, like we will be doing a tagging. Let's go inside this ASG. Within this, where is that? Let's go to virtual machines. And if I go to web VM1 under network settings, you have something called application security groups. Okay. Here I can tag the application security groups, whatever we have created. Okay. For web VM, I'm tagging the web ASG. Similarly, if I go to API, I can tag it. If I go to application security group, I will be able to tag the API one here. And if you see, this is happening at the VM level. Okay, probably if I go here, let me go here and show you. Okay, this is not reflecting. Okay, let me do from here only. We have done for web and the API servers. For this also, let's go and add it. Now what we have done is we have created the application security group and tagged it. Okay. Now let me just refresh this page once just to see. Still DB. Okay, it is showing, right? Now if I go here, okay, so I mean, I don't know if I saw add here, but this is the place where you can go and add it from this interface if you want to add something. In this case, we have already done it. Okay, it's showing the network interface attached to which VM. Okay, that is what it is. Now we have to map this application security group to our network security group. Okay, what I'm going to do is we will not be needing all these groups. What I will do, I'll go to this inbound rules and let's delete this. We'll delete all the rules, whatever we have set, so that we can reconfigure them with our application security groups. I'll leave this alone because this is nothing. It's like any, we are blocking everything, right? So I'll leave that alone. And this time, when my source is IP for jump server alone, I'm going to have the same rule, but the tagging alone is going to be different. Okay. When my source is okay, sorry, I copied the public IP, right? When my source is this, in this case, you see this application security group. We have used IP address, service tag, you don't know till now what it is. Any is like everything. This case, it's going to be application security group. And I'm going to allow the traffic to web ASG, okay, and to what port? To SSH port. And I'll say the priority as 900, like what we had earlier. Allow SSH from jump server to web. Okay, so only one thing is, since we have done the mapping, now we have changed this to application security group and I've tagged the web. So I'll say add. Now you see here, right? We no longer see the IP address. It's going to be this ASG which will be mentioned here. Similarly, if I want to do for others, right? What I can do when source is my application security group, if it is coming from web, and again, if the destination, it can be on my API server. So I'll define the SSH here and I'll say allow. And this priority is going to be 910. Allow SSH from web to API. Now, if you see, like this is by looking at this, you know, okay, web to API, this is allowed. Similarly, what we are going to do, like I'll go to the application security group from API to destination application security group as DB. Then here also I'll give SSH and we'll put this as 920 and I'll say allow SSH from API to DB. Okay, and let's click on add. So why I've given some spaces, okay, usually for this priority, right? If you want to overwrite anything, right? That's why in real time you'll see people always give like 10 or 20 numbers difference, so that if you want to inject anything or if you want to block this, instead of removing it, I can just add another rule in between this numbers so that I can override this rule. Okay, that's why like you will see in real time there will be some gaps. Okay, now, if you see, we have all the ASG in place with similar rules. Let's go to the jump box and we'll see if this is working, still working as expected, right? First, we'll do SSH to the web. This one works perfect. Now, if I try to do SSH to the DB. Okay, that's not the DB one. It's 3.4. If you see the DB is not working, which is what we wanted, I'll just change this to 2. This one still works. Let's give the password. And from API, let's try to do SSH to the DB. And this is also working. And just to check other aspects, right? If I exit completely and from the jump server, directly I'll not be able to talk to my API servers or the DB servers. So the other thing which I wanted to show is like if I'm launching a new VM, right? So it's going to be like once the VM is joined, I just have to attach that NSG. Let's quickly do that also so that you will know like how easy it is to maintain when you scale up things and all. I'll just say project A, and this is going to be web VM2, and it's in South India. I'll go with the same password based option. Let's put the password and I'll say none, okay, because I'm not going to handle it here. If you remember till when we discussed about VMs and all, we selected this select allow selected port from all traffic, right? So now we have selected none. In the networking section, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the project A VNet. And in this case, it's going to be a web subnet where I wanted this VM to sit. And I don't want any public IP address. NIC network security group is going to be none because we don't want any security group at NIC level. Okay, we are going to manage it at the subnet level. Okay, that's why I'm telling none. And rest all, I'm not worried about it. Let's go and create this VM. This should take few minutes. I mean, not more than a minute. Okay. Once this VM is ready, probably we'll go and tag it. Application security groups. Okay, before that, if I go to network settings, right? If you see this is attached to a subnet, you have a network security group which is attached to your subnet, which is something which we wanted, right? We'll go to the application security group. Maybe even before that, right? What I will do is, let's see if we are able to hit this, right? See, right now it is not working because it's not tagged. Okay, if I go to the which one, right? Okay, this rules, right? As per the current rule, if a connection is coming from our jump server, it can talk to all the web ASG VMs. Okay. Apart from that, any other connections coming from jump server, everything is under deny rule. Okay. That's why I'm not able to initiate this connection. Now, the moment we map this ASG, right? You should see the connection will automatically start to happen. Say it's updating the network interface. It is done. Now you see we are getting the prompt and I will be able to talk to the web VM2. And again, from here, if I want, I'll be still able to talk to the API server. Okay, you see it's giving this prompt. Rest all is going to work as expected. So this is where like your ASG is going to come handy. Like when you work things in scale, you will see in real time also like ASG will be in use. Okay, that is how you can control your inbound traffic within the network. Okay, then again there is one more layer, which is firewall, which we will see in the next session, because again I don't, because setting up firewall itself will take good amount of time. I thought we'll not spend more time, but what I am going to show you next session is, okay, you have something called firewall which will be sitting here. Okay, this firewall has different types of rules. They have like DNAT rules, there is something called network rules, then you have something called application rules. Okay, so whatever we have discussed till now, right, most of them were like all inbound related connections, okay, where either you block or deny the incoming traffic. But with firewall, okay, this firewall will also have a like public IP. Okay, um, let's say I'm just giving you a glimpse of what we would be seeing. Public IP with DNAT, right? With DNAT rules, what you can do is you will be able to connect from internet using this public IP. Let's say I have a public IP of 20.23.11 dot. I'm just giving some random IP. Okay. Let's say I have an IP like this. Okay. With DNAT rule, I can just write a rule. If I get a request to this IP on, let's say, port 4000, okay, you can probably, I'll put it here. You can say route this traffic to maybe 10.10.1.2, 1.4 on 22. Okay, basically, you can take a SSH connection via this public IP using firewall with DNAT rules, and you can take an SSH connection to this VM using the private IP. Okay, and additionally, like with if I'm writing an application rule, right, I will be able to block the outbound connection. Okay, outbound connection. As of now, whatever you have seen, internet is accessible on all these machines. Okay, with firewall, you can block a specific set of sites which you wanted. Let's say you want to have only technology related sites available, or let's say you want to restrict everything and allow just only one site. All those things can be done with the firewall application rules, and using network rules, right? What you can do is basically you will be able to okay, probably network rules I'll tell you. If I am telling now, it will create a confusion, but these are the things which we are going to see: DNAT and application rules and all, like how you can block the specific websites and all in real time in your office laptops and all, like how it is done, or in cloud level how we can do it. Those things we are going to see in the next session. Okay, so with this I will end here. Probably will open for questions. I'll stop the recording.